Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Unravel Trading. I hope you guys had a great trading day today. So it was a tricky day, but I managed to come out green today. Made over $29,000, and Facebook was my biggest trade. I traded the reversal, bought some call option contracts at key demand area, and I wrote the reversal, took profit at intraday highs, and I made over $25,000. I bought over 160 contracts and made close to 33% return on the trade. So let me quickly jump to my trader view chart to show you guys how I went about this trade. So currently I'm in the 2-minute time frames. I used the 2-minute to show you guys where exactly I bought. So I could show you the 5-minute, but the candles look a little bit bigger. It's not giving you the clearer picture. So let's just jump to the 2-minute time frame. But before that, you guys can see this big gap down, right? Facebook had a nasty gap down from close to 330s. It gapped all the way down to the 320 area before bouncing. So anyway, so Facebook, I built my position around 318.5 to 319 when I noticed that QQQ was also bottoming at pre-market lows. I added a few contracts. I didn't want to risk it because there could always be a flush, so I just went in light. I could have taken profit after a $2-3 bounce, but I didn't because my position size was very small and I wasn't making too much money, so I just decided to hold so that I could add to my position and capture a bigger move. So luckily I had a retest. I saw a retest of Facebook of the same area. Bids were holding well. QQQ was also at the same double bottom area. So it was a classic double bottom on an intraday basis. So I built my position here and then rode the reversal to intraday highs of 324. And that's when I took profit. So I want to teach you guys something here. So the reversal was pretty decent, but after a big move from 319 to 324, you should be expecting profit taking, right? The stock just made a big move, and it's at a key supply area, meaning there's a lot of sellers here that want to smack the stock because that was the intraday high, and it was also the gap. There was a gap play that was in play. So if this high was broken, Facebook could have potentially tried to fill the gap. So this was an area where there were a lot of sellers, and after an exhausted move like this, it was always an area where there was going to be some profit taking. So I took my profits at 324 before any rejection could happen. And the next candle, we actually had a big rejection, and then we had a small pullback. Some people tried to hold this level, this 321 area, but the stock couldn't hold this level. We had a small bear flag, and then we sold off the rest of the day. Facebook actually had a weak close like most stocks. We closed near 318. 315 is the next key area for Facebook, so it should be interesting tomorrow. But I just want to talk about the market in general. So far, growth stocks have sold off like crazy. So most stocks are already down. Large cap names and some industrial names are what's keeping SPY and QQQ afloat. But now even the large cap names have started correcting. You can see big gap downs in large cap names. And currently they are trading near key demand areas. So for Facebook, 315 is the demand, and for so many other stocks, they are at key levels. Tesla's near the thousands. So what can happen right now? We could either see a big bounce, and it needs to happen soon, because if it doesn't happen, we could lose these key supports, and we could see stocks implode. So it could happen tomorrow, it could happen day after, or it could happen Friday. But we need a bounce, especially from these large cap names. If it doesn't happen, be prepared to play the downside because there could be big gap down. So let me jump quickly to the Facebook chart. So Facebook, initially we had a bounce around last week. We had a bounce out of around 315, 316. This 318 to 320 area was a key demand, so you guys can see. Let me actually jump to the 1-hour chart so I can show you what happened. All right, so this was the bounce off of 316. This was the initial reversal candle. And the pullback that we got after that candle was the support was around 318.5, and to 319, 320. That was actually the big support zone or demand zone for Facebook. And after a drop from the 330s, I was expecting a relief bounce around this area between somewhere around 318 to 320. There's no exact price point. There's a lot of buyers in that area. So I just wanted to build my position in that area. So let me actually open QQQ on the side so that you guys can see exactly what I was watching. So QQQ had a pre-market low of around 372.5. Market open, QQQ dropped, Facebook dropped. Around the same area, 318.5, saw that bids were holding. QQQ actually looked holding as well. The bids were holding here. There were a lot of buyers here. They just kept holding this level. Every time it dropped to this area, they kept buying it. So that's why I initially got a startup position here. But then once we popped, we rejected again, same as the Qs. We got a retest of the same level. That's when once you see the retest holding, that's when you know that the stock is going to bounce. I saw this holding, so I built my position completely here on Facebook. Let me actually go to the 5-minute chart so that you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, here it is. So Facebook, we got a first test, initial test of this area. We bounced, we retest. That's where I completed my position, and then we had a reversal reclaim of VWAP. Typically on a day like on a regular day, once I see the reclaim of VWAP, I usually add to my position, even if that meant averaging up. But today I didn't want to do that. We had a solid reclaim, but I just held on to my position and I took profits around 324. I made close to 33% on this trade. I had 160 contracts of Facebook. It was a good return considering the entire market was very choppy, and I'm glad that I took profits and didn't give back gains. So this was, from an execution standpoint, this was a very good trade, although the setup was poor. I mean, this wasn't really a straightforward trade by any means, right? I mean, I don't think there are any straightforward trades in the market right now. I mean, if there are, a lot of people would be making easier money, right? So we got a big sell-off, bought some calls at demand, and timed it with QQQ's bounce, took some profits along the way, and then I pretty much called it a day. I could have made more money if I traded Tesla's bounce, because Tesla went up as high as 1070. This was a much better move right off of this trend line off of Tesla. But I didn't have the confidence to play Tesla today, because I felt like we were always going to test 1000, and I wasn't comfortable trading a huge bounce of around 1020, albeit there was a trend line here. So I took my position very light and I took profit around 1035, but then we just ripped to 1070 today. Could have had a big day if I traded a little bit, if I traded Tesla a little bit with more conviction, but I mean, hindsight is, anyway. So that's Facebook. Again, 315 is the key area on Facebook, so you guys should probably be watching that area first initially for a bounce, and if the market really gaps down, we could flush 315. The next support, I believe, on Facebook is around 305 and then 300, so there's a huge gap there. But I really hope the market bounces, because if we break these levels, it could get really ugly for a lot of people, especially those holding equity. So yeah, so that's Facebook, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I wanted to cover a little bit more, but it's a little late. You guys can see it's around 10:50, so I'll be a little bit more detailed in my next video. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.